Hey everybody, it's Chase with AV Pop Culture again, and welcome to our week-long celebration of halfway to Halloween here on the channel. Today I have a very different and exciting video for you because I asked all of your favorite movie tubers here on YouTube to tell me their favorite horror movies of all time. We are going to rank them with mine, all your favorite YouTubers, all of their favorite horror movies right here today, ranked. So pop that tape in. I got you. Let's go do this. All right, so your favorite movie tubers, that's what I like to call them, right here on YouTube. I thought, what better way to celebrate halfway to Halloween than to ask all of your favorites, all the people you watch and love all the time, what their favorite horror movies were of all time. I had them all give me their top 3, and what I did was, before I ever asked them, I wrote down my ever-changing top 13. Well, why 13? Because it's spooky, right? Number 13 is spooky. So I wrote down my top 13. Now, some of these could maybe change depending on the day that you ask me, but I wanted to have a list written down before I asked them and got their answers. And then what I decided to do was, when I got their top 3, I was going to see who matched mine and put these all in order. So let's say that your favorite, and you're going to see all the people you know here. Let's say your favorite matches mine, and one of their top 3s comes in and ties with is the same as my number 7. I will tell you my number 7. I will tell you who also matched that, and so on. And then I will also tell you if we got some non-matches along the way. So this is going to be a lot of fun. You're going to find out a lot about us. I think one of the great ways to get to know people is to know their favorite movies. I think it says a lot about them. And I think you're going to find out that maybe we have a lot in common right here. Despite being very different, we might have a lot of things in common. There's some different ones out there too, but we are definitely similar when it comes to our love of movies. What better way to celebrate halfway to Halloween? So let's go ahead and get started with number 13. All right, for me, coming in at number 13, I wrote this down before I talked to anyone. I have Return of the Living Dead. Well, this is probably my favorite zombie movie. I've talked about it on the channel a lot. It has an incredible 4K to it, which I have right over here. I'm not pulling the movies today because we got so much to talk about, but I love this. Linnea Quigley's dance scene is worth the price of admission. It's a fun one. I watch it every summertime. It may come up on a summertime horror movies list. You never can tell. And when I got my results back, I had somebody that gave me Return of the Living Dead in their top 3, and that is Christian over at Planet CHH. He had this one, no brainer. If you follow him, he had it at his top 3. Now, I'm not going to tell you specifically which way they rank their top 3 because maybe they want to do a video on that themselves. But this was in his top 3, ranks pretty high for him. But Christian over at Planet CHH, he and I have Return of the Living Dead in common. Maybe I don't have it as high as him, but it's definitely one of my favorites, my favorite zombie movie. I'm not the biggest zombie movie guy overall, but this one I absolutely love. Like I said, Linnea Quigley, everything's going wrong. We're supposed to get a remake of this or a direct sequel to this coming up this year. That would be awesome. So we both share Return of the Living Dead. For me, it comes in at 13. But I have something else right here because, like I said, sometimes we didn't match on everything. And one of those that had no match was my buddy Jason over at Pop Culture Mass, Movie Mass. He will read you a sermon on Friday the 13th, part 3. That is one that came in to his top 3 that didn't make it into my top 13, but it is a movie that I love. I love that movie. So what I found is even when we don't match, and I'm going to sprinkle those in throughout this list, they end up still being movies that I would probably have on like my top 30 or top 25. And I love Friday the 13th, part 3. And Jason has it as his number 3. I'll tell you that one on here. He had a hard time picking which one, but it comes in here too. So Jason over at Pop Culture Mass, his first entry, Friday the 13th, part 3. Now for me, coming in at number 12 on the list is one of my favorite horror anthologies. I love this movie. It's a go-to for me every year at Halloween. It's Trick or Treat. Now, Trick or Treat 2007, Anna Paquin. You have little Sam Hain, Samhain, but they call him Little Sam, running around, running amok. You have all things Halloween. You have one of the coolest werewolf transformation sequences ever. It's told out of order. It inspired me when I was making my film Creature Feature. Definitely a big one for me. Now, nobody matched this one. So this one is a standalone for me here. But I love this film. You're going to hear me talk about it a lot when we do our whole spooky season content. And there was another non-match of everybody who gave me stuff. Jordan over at the Movie Den. He also had one on his top 3 that was a non-match with anything else, and that is The Witch. He's a big fan of this film. He actually sent me the 4K copy that I own of this movie from Second Sight. So he is a big fan of it. He's the only one that had it in their top 3. He's the only one who, or it didn't match my top 13, and it didn't match anyone else's top 3. But The Witch, if you're into that movie, I've done some big videos on it. Jordan over at the Movie Den has it on his list, so make sure that you check it out. Now, at number 11 is one that definitely leads a little sci-fi. It is H.P. Lovecraft all the way. Barbara Crampton, Jeffrey Combs, for me, have to be on this list. And I had to fight because the only reason I didn't go Reanimator, I basically just am going to say From Beyond and Reanimator right here at number 11. I know that's kind of cheating, but I love both of those movies so much. And it's splitting hairs against them. But believe it or not, nobody had From Beyond or Reanimator in their top 3. For me, they're kind of tied here right outside the top 10, depending on the day you ask me. Nobody had it. But a couple of people did have a movie that was very similar, and they both matched on it, and that is Phantasm. So my buddy Chance over at Video Goulash, Chance makes movies with me. I've known him for many, many years. We watch movies together all the time. Loves Phantasm. So does Garrett over at Born to Be Rad. Phantasm is in his top 3 as well. So I have the movie right over there. I enjoy Phantasm. It is very weird. Don Coscarelli. I like Phantasm a lot. It didn't make it into my top 13, but it's one that is definitely up there as a movie that I love and really enjoy watching. Very weird horror movie. So I felt like because it was weird and these two guys had it, but it didn't match any of mine, putting it around From Beyond and Reanimator just felt right. So both Garrett from Born to Be Rad and Chance from Video Goulash both had this movie in their top 3. Phantasm, an absolute classic. Now, at number 10 is another one. You talk about classics. This one is a classic. Stephen King, Stanley Kubrick combined. I have done a lot of film study on this particular film, how it was shot, all that kind of stuff. I am talking about The Shining. So for me, The Shining comes in at number 10, and I share that one with Ken from mid-level media, Ken has The Shining in his top 3. Very, very hard to argue that The Shining should be in anyone's top 3, 5. It is a great film all the way around, shot beautifully with Zeiss super speed lenses. Oh, I could get into very nerd out on how it was shot all day long, which is why the 4K looks so good. But Ken and I share this one. He and I are the only ones that had it on a list of any. Now it's a little unfair because my list is longer, but I had to do a top 13. If I just did 3, who knows? But Ken has it at The Shining. Now he and I share that one, but my buddy Brian over at The Last Movie Standing, he has one that's kind of a standalone. Nobody else picked it, and it wasn't on my top 13. But it kind of feels right to mention right here along with The Shining, and his is Woman in Black. And this is one that I haven't seen in a while. This is the Daniel Radcliffe movie. But I know it has that sort of that spooky feel. I'm all about atmosphere. The Shining has atmosphere in spades. So I figured if it didn't match anywhere, right here might be a good spot to drop it. So while me and Ken have The Shining at this spot, Brian at The Last Movie Standing has Woman in Black in his top 3 as his standalone. And check it out. It is definitely an atmospheric film. Now at number 9 is another one that I got to be honest, I'm a little shocked nobody else had on their list. This is my favorite haunted house movie probably of all time. An absolute classic. I'm talking about Amityville Horror. Well, Amityville Horror to me it means so much. It's been around so long, has an amazing 4K from Vinegar Syndrome. And I just think it's one of those quintessential movies that everyone should see if you're a horror film fan. I was kind of surprised nobody else had it, but in recent years, it's kind of gone out of favor just a little bit. But when it got the 4K from Vinegar Syndrome, it kind of bounced back up. For me, it's always been there. My family is really tied to this movie in a lot of ways, and really just hits the mark for me for haunted house films. Nobody matched it, but I thought this would be a good place to put a couple of other non-matches. And the first one up is from my man Michael over at Blockbuster Box Sets. Mike has Poltergeist. And believe it or not, nobody else had Poltergeist in their top 3, and I didn't have it in my top 13. Though I love it, and I love Tobe Hooper, and I love Steven Spielberg, horror is a very intense subject to give a top 10, top 3, top 25. Hell, last year when I did a top 31, I had trouble with it. So you know him as Blockbuster Box Sets. Over here is my man. He got cool box sets all over the place. We love that shit for horror. And he loves Poltergeist. Hard to argue with it. Kind of seems like it fits right here with Amityville Horror. Another one that fits right here that only my man Brian over at The Last Movie Standing had is a pretty recent film, Insidious. Now, Insidious may be more of a haunted person rather than a haunted house, but I feel like as standalones that kind of missed tying with anyone else, that Poltergeist and Insidious fit here with my Amityville Horror. And they kind of have similar vibes in some ways completely not. But it's as close as you can get on this list. So Brian has Insidious in his top 3. Blockbuster Box Sets has Poltergeist in his top 3. I have Amityville Horror at this spot at number 9. Now, at number 8 on the list is one that would be higher for me if more people considered it a horror. I consider it a horror. In many ways, I consider it a slasher film. And I have one person that completely agrees with me on that. I am talking about Jaws. Now, to me, Jaws is a horror film. It 100% is. And it has its own slasher music. I mean, it might as well be the Michael Myers Halloween music. Might as well be 1, 2, Freddy's Coming for You, because Jaws and that it feels like a slasher in many ways. It's a horror. It's close to a perfect film. And somebody that shares that agreement with me is Daniel at the Cobwebs channel. He has Jaws in his top 3 as well. Hard to argue. I was glad somebody had this on their list so that I wasn't out on a limb with Jaws. But Daniel's going to back me up. So Daniel at Cobwebs and I both have Jaws in our favorites. Comes in at number 8 for me. Now, at number 7 is one that nobody else had. I had this one myself. I go back and forth about if this is my favorite werewolf film. It's number 1 usually for me, but there's 3 or 4 right there at the top that are splitting hairs. But I love the small town atmosphere again of Silver Bullet. Silver Bullet, I'm the only one that has it. Nobody else had it, but one other person did have a werewolf movie. And that is Daniel, again, from the Cobwebs channel. He has the classic Wolfman. The Wolfman is in his top 3. And I felt like since I had a werewolf film here with Silver Bullet, this felt like a good place to mention the Wolfman because it doesn't match anyone else. And I didn't have the Wolfman on my list, even though I absolutely love it. I love the atmosphere of it. You talk about atmosphere. The Wolfman, classic Wolfman has atmosphere. Daniel has it in his top 3. I have Silver Bullet here at this place at number 7. So there you go. Make sure you check out both of those and have a howling good time. I had to make the dad pun. All right. Coming in at number 6 is one that I was dumbfounded shocked that nobody had this film in their top 3. Nobody. Out of everybody I asked, and I haven't even gotten to everyone who I've asked yet, so there's more guys coming. But Nightmare on Elm Street. Nobody had it in their top 3. Nobody. But I have it in my top 6. It's the first horror film I really remember watching. And when it came out to home video, we rented it, my older brother and I. And it scarred me for a while, but I had it at number 6. Sometimes it could be higher. Since nobody had it, there's a couple of people that had some other movies in a similar type vein, very different, but still you could kind of put them here together. And I think it'd be all right because it'd make a cool triple feature since these guys didn't match these films on my list or with anyone else. But Christian over at Planet CHH, one of his top 3 is Puppet Master. So you got to have some Full Moon in there. He's repping with Puppet Master. I feel like this is a good place to put that in. I don't know why it just clicked with me with like Dream Warriors and the Marionette, but I don't know why, but I was like, this seems like a good spot to also mention Puppet Master. So Planet CHH has Puppet Master in his top 3. He kind of went back and forth a little bit, but he had to have some Full Moon in there. So here it is. And then my buddy Jason over at Pop Culture Movie Mass, will read you a sermon once again for some TNA with The Slumber Party Massacre. That's a slasher film. It's talking about sleeping over. So I feel like this is a good spot to also mention Slumber Party Massacre, which just got a 4K from Scream Factory. And I've watched, looks great. I haven't reviewed it yet, but good spot to mention all of these, I feel like, right here with Nightmare on Elm Street. So Puppet Master and Slumber Party Massacre with Planet CHH and with Pop Culture Mass. With AVA Pop Culture, you got Nightmare on Elm Street coming in at number 6. Now, at number 5 on the list, I was rescued. I was standing alone here at number 5 on my list, and sometimes this one's higher. This one flip-flops with me, but I'll tell you why 4 is higher for me this time. But at number 5 is The Lost Boys. This is like 1 and 1A, my favorite vampire movies of all time. This movie is 80s to me. You got the Coreys in there. I absolutely love it. And someone who shares my love at number 3 and maybe number 1 on his list, you'll have to check with him, but it's in his top 3, is Garrett over at Born to Be Rad. He has The Lost Boys in his top 3. If not for him, I'd have been standing alone defending The Lost Boys, which, I mean, how, like, you've got the Coreys. You got Kiefer Sutherland as a badass vampire. You got Jason Patric in here. You've even got some small town atmosphere if you really think of it. You know, if we'd have you grandpa knew it was going on, so other people knew it was going on. So you have that like creepy town thing going on. 100% 80s. If you think it's dated, you're wrong. The whole point of it is to be 80s. I friggin' love this. Rock and roll vampires, Joel Schumacher, The Lost Boys. Scarier than you'd think. Vampires that fly always freak the shit out of me. But Garrett at Born to Be Rad, he tied with me. He has The Lost Boys on his list. So I'm not standing alone. But for me, on this list this time, The Lost Boys comes in at number 5. Now, at number 4 on the list, this is the one that I flip-flop. And I'll tell you why this one comes in higher this time. But for me, Fright Night comes in at number 4. I think it's close to a perfect vampire horror film. I love old Hammer films. I love old Universal monsters. I feel like this movie kind of has all of those vibes wrapped up in an 80s skin with a little small town suburban atmosphere too. Y'all, I absolutely love Fright Night. And I am not the only one, because Daniel at the Cobwebs channel, he said this a million times, so I'm okay saying Fright Night is his favorite all-time horror movie. So he is with me on this, and so is Garrett at Born to Be Rad. They both had this film in their top 3. So Fright Night, you gotta love it right here. 3 of us had it on our lists. And right here seems like another spot to mention one that didn't get targeted up with anyone else. My buddy Jason, again, over at Pop Culture Mass. He loves the movie Nosferatu, the Vampire, the Werner Herzog film from 1979. Very, very good portrayal of that by Klaus Kinski in that film. And one that I just saw for the first time recently. It's kind of hard to argue. It's a very good film. And he has it in his top 3. He's a big Herzog fan. And definitely check it out. It feels right to mention right here with other vampire films. But Fright Night, for real, comes in at number 4. Now, at number 3 on the list is a cheat. I combined these because I wasn't taking up 2 spots on the list for Halloween and Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. I feel like I'm not alone. I thought I'm not alone in having these 2 be my favorite Halloween films, and it's hard to split them apart. And I was not alone, because for Halloween 3, I have 2 other brothers with me. I have Christian over at Planet CHH. He has Halloween 3 Season of the Witch in his top 3. And so does my man Fuzz over at the Original Fuzz, checking in on this list. He has Halloween 3 on his list as well. So there's 3 of us with Halloween 3. But if you also factor in Halloween, which I was just not splitting them apart, if you factor in Halloween 78, you get my buddy Chance over at Video Goulash. And you get Jordan over at the Movie Den. All of us, Halloween 3. You have a log jam here with like 5 of us with those 2 films at our top 3, because this is 3 for me as well. So a bunch of us digging on Halloween and Halloween 3. You got Halloween 3 with Fuzz, with Planet CHH, Halloween with Chance at Video Goulash, and Jordan at the Movie Den. Halloween and Halloween 3 tie at number 3 for me at AV Pop Culture. You gotta love the Halloween movies. I mean, just absolute classics, and I love those so much. And apparently, I am not alone. So those are coming in at number 3. Now, at number 2 is one that's very hard. It's very personal that I put it at 2 and not 1. I'm just going to tell you that I'm alone at number 1. But at number 2, I got a shitload of company with John Carpenter's The Thing. Now, I have some company here. I have Blockbuster Box Sets checking in. He had The Thing in his top 3. I have my man, the original Fuzz, again checking in. He had The Thing in his top 3. I got my brother Chance at Video Goulash. He's checking in with The Thing in his top 3. And we have Ken over at Mid-Level Media. He has The Thing in his top 3. So that is 5 of us, 5 that had The Thing in our top 3. I don't know what more you need to have it to have a movie be vouched for than that. I mean, that is just hitting you with rights and lefts of The Thing goodness. John Carpenter, my second favorite director of all time, behind Steven Spielberg and just ahead of James Cameron. So The Thing, me, Blockbuster Box Sets, the original Fuzz, Chance at Video Goulash, and Ken over at Mid-Level Media, all with The Thing. Kurt Russell, how can you even argue? This is a great film. Shocking that it flopped. It is horror. If you take away just that part where it shows the spaceship, it is just a horror creature feature. I don't care. Fight us on it. You're going to have to come for us all because The Thing comes in at number 2. Yes, number 1 for me is very special, and we will get there in a minute, but we have to finish off the rest of our guys' top 3. Now, the 2 most popular hit-on films that were not on my list, number 1 was The Exorcist. I did not have The Exorcist in my top 13, not because I don't like it and not because I don't think it is a great film. It's just hard for me to watch a bunch of times. I have this thing with kids and everything else. It's just hard for me to watch. And the way the kid is attacked in that movie. It's just very hard. It's very hard, but I have a great addition. I love the movie. But The Exorcist had 3 people have it in their top 3. Ken over at Mid-Level Media, he had The Exorcist. So Ken had a nice top 3. Ken had The Shining, The Exorcist, and The Thing. Hard to argue with those. We got Ken and Brian at The Last Movie Standing with The Exorcist in their top 3. So they both have it over there in their top 3. And then we also have Alien, some sci-fi horror coming in. This, you have the original Fuzz with Alien. He's a big fan of that series, of that franchise. He's a big Cameron fan too. Cameron did Aliens, but we're talking Alien here. So he has it in his top 3. And Blockbuster Box Sets has Alien rounding out his top 3. So a couple of people landing on Alien, a few people landing on The Exorcist. I also think Fuzz, he was on the fence with Dawn of the Dead right there in his as well. So lots of good horror movies up here. And The Exorcist, it had to check in. Several people had The Exorcist. Hard to argue with that. Alien, hard to argue with that. And great top 3. And thank you everyone who participated, who gave me your top 3. We're going to get to my number 1 in a minute where I stand alone. But Fuzz over at the original Fuzz checking in with his top 3. You have Daniel over at the Cobwebs channel checking in with his top 3. You have Christian over at Planet CHH checking in with his top 3. You have Jason over at Pop Culture Movie Mask, giving you a sermon on his top 3. You got Brian over at The Last Movie Standing with a very different top 3, which I dig. He's checking in with his. You got Mike at Blockbuster Box Sets. You know him as Blockbuster Box Sets, checking in with a very solid top 3. You got my friend Chance over at Video Goulash checking in with his top 3. You've got Jordan over at the Movie Den with his top 3. Garrett at Born to Be Rad at his top 3. We have great YouTubers here. I call them movie tubers. The old school thing was blue tubers. I call us movie tubers. These are your favorites. These are the guys you watch, the guys that you love, and you know it. So I wanted to bring us all together. We have a lot of overlap, and even the ones that didn't make my list, I love those movies too. So that is absolutely awesome. Thank you guys so much for doing that. But now it is time for my number one. And my number one of all time is sitting right there over my shoulder. It is Stephen King's It. I love this movie, okay? And for part of the same reason, Fright Night ranks so high for me as well, is that the way I experience these films with my son. My son has gotten into horror movies, and the first one that he ever watched was It when he was 8 years old. Now, I was like 10, 11 when It came out, and I watched it, and I loved it. I love Stephen King. I love the small town creepy atmosphere. It gets me every time. The first time we watched It, we were in Daytona Beach. This was like 6 years ago because he's 14 now. And I took a DVD player, Blu-ray player along with us to hook it up in the hotel room. So whenever we were in the hotel room, over the 4 days we were there, we watched It. The original It, not the remakes. The original It. And I just love that movie, and I love watching him fall in love with it too. The same thing, just about 3 weeks ago, a month ago, we watched Fright Night together. It was his first ever viewing of Fright Night. He watched it, and he said it's one of the favorite movies he ever watched. So sharing that time with him, seeing him become this horror fan that he is and experience these movies, that just kicks them up a place for me. That's why Fright Night moved ahead of The Lost Boys, because of the experience I had with him, and I love the movie. That's why It still stands alone, because I love that movie so much, and it is his favorite. It is our favorite together. So for me, It comes in at number one. I mean, The Thing, you can argue, is the best. All these movies are incredible, and I love them all so much. There is no better way to get to know people than through their favorite films and their favorite horror films, because there's so many subgenres. Tells you a lot too. I've had so much damn fun doing this. There's not a better way to celebrate halfway to Halloween than gathering all of your favorite YouTubers, your favorite movie tubers, your favorite people that you love to watch talk about movies, and grab all of their favorite horror films into one place and rank them with my own and go over them and share them with you. And that's what I did. And I know it's a very different video, but I really hope you enjoyed it, because I know that I did. And if you did, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Ring the bell so that you don't miss any videos like this, because, you know, YouTube doesn't necessarily show the video to everyone. And we want to make sure you subscribe to everyone that I talked about on this channel. If you haven't subscribed to them all, run. Don't walk to subscribe to the original Fuzz, to subscribe to Brian at The Last Movie Standing, to subscribe to Pop Culture Movie Mass. Make sure you find him on there. Garrett at Born to Be Rad, Christian at Planet CHH, Jordan at The Movie Den, Chance at Video Goulash, just getting his channel going. Blockbuster Box Sets, he's on here all the time too. Make sure you find him and get his stuff. Make sure you subscribe to everyone that I talked about here. And if you enjoy what we do here and you want to help support this channel and help make it grow, besides liking and subscribing, you can join at my YouTube channel or my Patreon, where we can do all kinds of crazy things, where we don't worry about censorship. You're going to get your name and lights on every single video here, and you're going to get behind the scenes looks at my filmmaking. You're going to get special members only videos and so much more. It all helps out the channel. Check all these channels out. Ken at Mid-Level Media, Brian The Last Movie Standing, Garrett, Fuzz, Chance at Video Goo, everybody. Jordan at Movie Den is this close to 1,000. That's a big moment for us on YouTube. Help push all these people up. Many hands make light work. Celebrate this halfway to Halloween season by lifting all these creators up, and have a good time watching their favorite horror movies and my favorite horror movies, and let me know some of yours in the comments. And that's what I got for you this time. So like always, Be kind, rewind, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.
I know.